Good evening, everyone, and you're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and I am glad that you're joining me for tonight's news roundup on Red Pill News. The date is Tuesday, December 11th, and this is our second report of the day. Before I begin, though, I just have a couple of things I want to say. First of all, I am humbled at the number of people that are coming to my channel in such a short time. I woke up yesterday and I had just over 3,000 subscribers. I went to bed and I had just over 7,000. I woke up this morning and I have just over 8,000. And now, as of the recording of this video, I have just under 11,000. I am literally 75 people shy of having 11,000 subscribers. My mind is blown. I am so humbled, so grateful that you guys enjoy what I'm doing. Never in a million years did I think that it was going to be like this. You know, I thought that I was going to be putting up a couple of goofy videos for just a select few people. And to have this many of you come on over and want to see what I have to say and want to hear what I think is important, it means a lot. I want to say thank you to every single one of you. And thank you also for all the comments, all the discussion we've got going on down there. For the most part, it's very civil. People are able to talk about things in a kind and respectful manner, and I so appreciate it. This is just very, very special to me, and I want to thank everybody who's here with me. All right, so on that note, I've got a couple of great stories I want to get to for you guys tonight. First of all, from the Daily Caller, Christopher Steele provided information to longtime Clinton crony. Christopher Steele, the author of the infamous anti-Trump Dossier, disclosed information from his Trump-Russia investigation to a longtime Clinton crony because of his position on the State Department Advisory Board, according to court documents filed on Tuesday. According to the court filing, Steele told a court in the United Kingdom on August 1st that he provided Strobe Talbott, the Clinton insider, with anti-Trump research because of his position on the Foreign Affairs Policy Board, an independent advisory board set up in 2011 by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Clinton appointed Talbott chairman of the advisory board, and he served in that role through John Kerry's tenure. As regards disclosure to Strobe Talbott, if relevant to this claim, the defendant relies on U.S. Department of State Foreign Affairs Policy Board, reads the August 1st filing. Steele's link to Talbott, which has not previously been revealed, shows the lengths to which Steele went to disseminate the fruits of his poison Trump investigation, which started in June 2016 when he was hired by Fusion GPS, an opposition research firm hired by the DNC and Clinton campaign. The Steele document was revealed on Tuesday in a lawsuit filed by 3 Russian bankers who have sued Steele in the UK and US over the dossier. A September 14, 2016 memo in the dossier alleges links between the founders of the bank, Alpha Bank, and the Kremlin. They have sued Steele and Fusion GPS for defamation. Steele disclosed the link to Talbott in response to a series of questions posed in the UK legation. Steele's filing does not provide additional details on his interactions with Talbott, who served as Deputy Secretary of State in the Bill Clinton administration. Very incestuous ties here. Talbott has long been friends with the Clintons, having met the former president at Oxford in the 1960s. Look at that. God, I love our president. Look at him. The picture of manhood. He is in command. You have got to love it. It is also unclear what information from the dossier Steele gave to Talbott or when the handoff would have occurred. Steele, a former MI6 officer, compiled 17 memos dated from June 20th, 2016 to December 13th, 2016, alleging a vast conspiracy between the Trump team and Kremlin to influence the 2016 election. The FBI would rely heavily on the dossier to obtain 4 warrants to spy on Carter Page, a former Trump campaign advisor who is named throughout the dossier. So interesting. Think mirror. Page has vehemently denied Steele's claims. Republicans have accused the FBI of abusing the surveillance court process by relying on the dossier, which FBI officials have acknowledged was largely unverified when it was used to obtain spy warrants on Page. I would argue that it was wholly unverified. Steele disseminated his dossier widely to his contacts at the FBI, numerous news organizations, Congress, and the State Department. By passing the dossier to Talbot, who then served as president of the Brookings Institution, Steele pushed the anti-Trump research to the president of the most prominent think tank in the U.S. Steele had other ties to the State Department beyond Talbot. In summer 2016, the retired spy provided his longtime friend, Jonathan Weiner, then the State Department Special Envoy to Libya, with parts of the dossier. Weiner passed a summary of Steele's claims to others in the State Department. Steele also visited State Department headquarters in October 2016 to brief officials on the dossier. It is unclear whether Talbot was involved in the meeting, which Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Richard Burr revealed during a hearing on June 20th. Talbot also has a familial link to another dossier that was handled by Steele and Weiner. Talbot's brother-in-law, Cody Shearer, a longtime Clinton fixer who conducted a private investigation of his own into Trump during the campaign. Shearer's dossier contains some allegations similar to Steele's report, including that Russians had blackmail material on Trump. Shearer passed his report to Weiner through Sidney Blumenthal, another longtime Clinton insider. Weiner then shared the Shearer memos with Steele, who provided them to the FBI. A person who spoke with Shearer in summer 2016 about his findings told the Daily Caller News Foundation that it seemed like a rope-a-dope scheme being pushed by purported Russian spies. Talbot did not respond to a request for comment. Lawyers for Steele and the Alphabet founders also did not respond to a request for a comment. So you can see what Christopher Steele was doing here. He's using his influence and his position to pass this dossier among some major thinkers, some major people in the positions of power and at the heads of these various organizations. And where does crap run? Downhill. So Christopher Steele hands it off. It gets disseminated further down the line, and then before you know it, boom, it's showing up everywhere, and everyone's acting like it's real. Not everyone, guys. I know it's not us and not many of the people in the country, but all of the talking heads and the big mouths, they're all acting like it's real. So it's just, as I said, an incestuous relationship. All right, and next on today's list of stories from the Gateway Pundit, Google CEO lies to Congress, says no bias in search results, but check out Google versus DuckDuckGo results on term idiot. Oh, God. This is going to be good. On Tuesday, Google CEO Sundar Pichai testified before the House Judiciary Committee. Pichai was called into Congress to explain Google business practices, including data collection and targeting of conservative voices. During the hearing, Representative Zoe Lofgren, Democrat of California, asks Google CEO Sundar Pichai to explain how a picture of Donald Trump comes up when looking up the term idiot under images. Oh, these people. Pichai told her Google takes the keyword and matches it against the web pages and ranks them based on 200 signals, things like relevance, freshness, popularity, how other people are using it. We try and find the best results of any query. BS. You gotta be kidding me. Let's take a look at what Sundar had to say. Just a little snippet.
Manipulation of search results. I think it's important to talk about how search works. Right now, if you Google the word idiot under images, a picture of Donald Trump comes up. I just did that. How would that happen? How does search work so that would occur?
We provide search today for any time you type in a keyword. We, as Google, we've gone out and crawled and stored copies of billions of web pages in our index. And we take the keyword and match it against web pages and rank them based on over 200 signals. Things like relevance, freshness, popularity, how...
Lies. Lies. Why doesn't Trump's picture come up when you search stable genius? How many times do we tweet out that President Trump was a stable genius? You'd think it would be the number one search result. All right. The Gateway Pundit goes on to say, actually, that's not quite true. When you look up the word idiot on Google, you get not just one, but all of the top images are President Trump. Disgusting. President Trump has the most successful foreign policy and best economy of any U.S. president in 100 years, but Google labels him an idiot. Now, compare Google to DuckDuckGo search engine results. And I will say that I wholeheartedly recommend using DuckDuckGo over Google, bar none. All right, and that's it. That's all we have for that story. I did watch some of his testimony today, and it was really interesting to see him try to dodge around the main points. You know, he knew why he was there. He was there for privacy concerns, for antitrust concerns, for censorship concerns. And Sundar did his best to position Google as this, patriotic, like American company that was pumping all this money into the American economy, and without Google, we wouldn't have this or that. And as far as I'm concerned, without Google, people would be about, on average, 10 IQ points higher. All right, so moving on. Another Google story, because of the testimony today, I thought it would be good. This headline is from Business Insider, and it says, "FU leakers." A former senior Google employee says a frantic quest to stop internal info getting out is now management's number one priority. Probably because of the likes of people like James Damore and that video that was released of their powwow after Donald Trump was elected, and everybody was hanging their head in their lattes, so depressed. Like, what do we do, guys? What are we going to do? Trump. Oh. Okay. He said that the campaign against leaking had become a way for Google to avoid tackling the reason staff were leaking in the first place. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, I missed a section. A senior former Google employee who quit over its controversial plans to launch a search engine in China painted a picture of a company whose upper echelons are obsessed with stopping leaks to the exclusion of almost anything else. Jack Poulsen, a former researcher at the company, said these senior managers consider the prevention of leaks to be their number one priority. In comments reported on Saturday by the Times of London, Poulsen cited as an example of the anti-leak culture an unnamed senior engineer taking the microphone at an all-hands meeting to yell "FU leakers" at his colleagues. He said that the campaign against leaking had become a way for Google to avoid tackling the reasons staff were leaking in the first place, including concerns over the Chinese search project, codenamed Dragonfly, or work for the U.S. military. Poulsen left Google in September over Dragonfly and said he believed 4 other employees had done the same. Google declined to comment on his departure at the time. He said, according to the Times, "The narrative is that leaking is bad and that the number one priority is to prevent any leaks." Poulsen said that Google was not alone in trying to suppress employee revolts, pointing to similar movements at Amazon and Microsoft. He said that back and forth between workers and executives is not going to be a short battle. Business Insider has reported previously on the culture of extreme secrecy at Google. A lawsuit filed against the company in late 2016 alleged that employees have to sign a confidentiality agreement, which even prevents them talking to a lawyer about what goes on at Google. It describes an internal program called Stop Leaks, to which it says employees are encouraged to report their own leaks and those of colleagues. See something, say something. Stop Leaks was referenced again in an internal email that was made public in 2017 as part of the same lawsuit, this time in an email from the head of Google's Internal Investigations Unit. In September of this year, Business Insider reported that Google was tightening its security still further, clamping down on access to its weekly all-hands meeting, known as TGIF, for employees not physically at its Silicon Valley headquarters. It came after a video of employees lamenting the election of Donald Trump was leaked to the right-wing news site Breitbart, fueling politically toxic accusations that the search engine is biased. I would say politically toxic and extremely accurate. Business Insider has contacted Google for comment on Poulsen's comments. Get the latest Google stock price here. I bet you it wasn't doing so hot today. I'd be interested to see what that was. All right, so basically Google is, they're in a world of hurt right now. They're under a ton of scrutiny, and hopefully after this testimony in Congress today, something is going to give. I know that it gets tiring waiting for things to happen, but you just got to remember things are happening incrementally. Like the very fact that Google is having to answer for these things, that the CEO went in front of Congress today and had to answer to the fact that Donald Trump is the #1 search result under the word idiot. That would have been unheard of just a couple years ago. All right. Now we have a story out of Brazil. This is also from my friends at the Gateway Pundit. The new Brazilian president, Bolsonaro government announces Brazil will not sign the UN Migration Pact. Excellent. This is wonderful news. Obviously, they've been thinking a lot about their own self-preservation. Several European countries have already announced they will not sign on to the United Nations Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration. They fear the agreement will take away their sovereign right to control their own borders. All right, this is a list of countries who will not sign. The United States, based. Poland, woke. Estonia, also based. Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary, Switzerland, Croatia, Bulgaria, Australia, Israel, Lithuania, Latvia. These countries will not agree to the globalist insanity. Oh, that's great. Latvia and Lithuania announced they will not sign the UN Migration Pact last week. Presidente Bolsonaro. On Monday, the Bolsonaro government in Brazil announced the South American country will not sign the Migration Pact. This is translated from Portuguese, so bear with me here. Ernesto Araújo, the future Minister of Foreign Affairs of the government of Jair Bolsonaro, stated in the second that Brazil will not sign the Global Migration Pact proposed by the United Nations. For the Chancellor, immigration should not be treated as a global issue, but rather according to the reality and sovereignty of each country. Amen, brother. Ernesto treated the pact as an inadequate instrument in solving the immigration problem. Brazil, as the Chancellor announced, will continue to receive Venezuelan refugees while working to restore democracy in the neighboring country. Good stuff. So I thought that this was good, a good story to cover because it shows you that, again, things are happening. The very fact that that Brazil, which has just for such a long time been a traditionally leftist country, has elected a right-wing nationalist leader, someone who cares about the sovereignty of his nation and the safety of its people, Bolsonaro. A great guy. I'm so happy to see that he's there, and I cannot wait to see the work that he and President Donald Trump are going to do together. Make South America great again. Okay, and then last but not least, I've got a statement from the press secretary of the White House. This was actually issued on the 7th, but that news was, today, President Donald J. Trump signed into law important legislation to help victims of child sexual exploitation, the Amy, Vicky, and Andy Child Pornography Victims Assistance Act of 2018. The Trump administration is prioritizing the fight against this evil through our ongoing commitment to innovative initiatives, including Project Safe Childhood, and we are taking these steps to confront a truly disturbing reality. Since March 2015, for example, the number of distinct children identified in CP material has nearly doubled, from 8,600 to almost 16,000. We must end this scourge on our children and our society. The bill the president signed today will help ensure that victims of CP and other child sexual abuse crimes receive restitution for the harm they have suffered. It ensures that a minimum amount will be ordered in each case and allows victims to choose from different forms of restitution. Making America safe again starts with protecting our people, especially our children, from the savagery of sexual exploitation and abuse. The president is proud to have signed the Amy, Vicky, and Andy CP Victims Assistance Act into law. God bless Donald Trump. This man has done more for our children than any other president in history. This is an issue that is close to my heart. I have a child, and the very idea that someone could hurt her in such a long-lasting and horribly psychologically scarring way, not to mention physically scarring. It drives me insane. I had some choice words for those sex ring people out of Colombia and Israel the other day, and it's because nothing's been done about it. This has practically been bred and woven into the fabric of our country and society across the globe. You've got people doing this with impunity because it pays money. Okay? They are selling their souls and they are destroying the next generation because it pays them money. This is the most disgusting thing that people can do. And the fact that our country hasn't been able to fight it until now makes me sick. And this is the number one reason why I support our president. And I am so grateful to have him here and so grateful to call him our leader. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you feel the same. And I hope that you join me tomorrow. I am once again Redpill 78, the corruption detector. And I'll see you on the other side.